Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Murray Hill Neighborhood Association Annual Meeting. I'm Diane Bartow, President of the Association, and it's my privilege and pleasure to officially open the annual meeting and welcome our members, our honored guests, and our neighbors. According to the bylaws of the association, we must conduct 2 agenda items: the announcing of the Board of Trustees for your approval and a financial report. To begin, Fred, the president of MECA, will announce the MECA trustees, followed by Heather, chair of the Murray Hill Nominating Committee, and then a financial report by Murray Hill Neighborhood Association Treasurer Becky. So we'll begin with Fred. Fred? This happens to me at every meeting.
Fred is there. He's just muted.
Fred, unmute.
There you go.
How's that better?
Perfect, go.
Okay. Fred Arcaro, president. Jules Vaughn, vice president. You got Linda Lieberman as treasurer. Beryl Runkoff as secretary, and Sharon Tillman as a member. There you go.
Thank you, Fred. Heather?
All righty, Heather Dolan Tamam. We have, Diane Bartow, of course, as our president, Matt Roberts, Susan Demmett, Becky Fligg, Bob Astron, Fred Arcaro, Catherine Duhigg, Cynthia Farid, Raha Flores, John Harari, Wendy Kleinman, Jessica Lavoie, Paulette Long, Doris May, Michael Ann Rowe, Suzanne Seger, Lily Seidman Davis, Nancy Akada Sharon, Elaine Silva, Victoria Spagnola, Jacqueline Strayer, and W. Sullivan.
Excellent. Becky, financial report.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. Sorry, guys, I apologize. We have currently 43,957 in total assets, which includes all of our bank accounts and cash. And this is as of 8/31, mind you. And in September, because of the street fair, because of this event, and because of some greening programs we had a bunch of donations, so that number is bound to go up. But we are not at the end of September, so we kind of are, but we will not be able to provide that number until next week. But we've had a great September, so thank you to everyone. And of course, you know, our equity and liabilities equal that. Some of you who have been on this call for the last couple of years can notice that that number is a little lower. That's due to the pandemic and us not being able to have events. We are back to having events, and the last couple of months have obviously yielded more income. So whether we look at next month or the next 6 months or even next year, we are on the up roads. So I'm proud to say that. I'm happy for everyone being involved and making donations and being at events in person. And here's to a great 2023.
Thank you. Thank you to Fred, Heather, and Becky. Your hard work and dedication are sincerely appreciated. This has been a very difficult year for the association. There has been so many issues that we have tried to deal with. You will hear from the committee chairs about the issues they have been working on to continue to make Murray Hill a highly desirable place in which to live, work, and visit. We did try to have the meeting in person, this meeting in person. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a location to it being either too expensive for us or the requirements we couldn't meet, or we couldn't meet their requirements, or they made it too small for us. So I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening on Zoom. Thank you so much. Throughout the presentations, if you have any questions as we go through, please put them in the chat box or put them on the website, murrayhillnyc.org, and we will get you answers as quickly as we can. This year, we have dealt with the COVID and its aftermath, construction issues, traffic issues, the homeless situation, cleanup, small businesses, and crime, to mention just some of the issues we've been working on. Tonight, you will be updated on those issues. One that I did want to talk about first, back a while ago, we conducted a survey with our members on congested pricing. Thanks to all of you who gave responses. We analyzed it and we sent to the appropriate elected representatives. We also held meetings directly with our elected officials about the results and requested changes you asked for. We continue to monitor this situation and will continue to update you through e-blast. For our Murray Hill businesses, we have tried to help them by providing free advertising to helping them find staff. And we ask you to please support our local businesses. They mean a lot to our community. We have worked to solve problems, not just complain about them. We try to work with, for instance, the homeless shelters as an example, for those individuals that are ready and able to work to find jobs with local businesses that needed the staffing help. We would also like to hear from you regarding communications. Let us know how we're doing. I hope you appreciate the Monday e-blast that keeps you aware of what's happening in the neighborhood. And for that, I want to thank Nancy for all her hard work on this. Thanks, Nancy. I also want you to think about having a fun day in Murray Hill. Maybe visit the Morgan, maybe have dinner at a restaurant with some jazz, maybe a show at the comedy club. There is a lot to do, so support our local merchants and enjoy yourself at the same time. Now we need your help. Without community service, we cannot have the strong quality of life that we strive for. There is an immense power when a group of people get together to work towards the same goals. Together, we achieve and win. If you can, volunteer. Do something you enjoy and give back to your community. You can and will make a difference. Our volunteers are not paid, not because we think it's not their financial worth, but because they are priceless. So join your neighbors and help out. I hope you will enjoy the Fall Street Festival on Saturday, October 15th, and the lighting of the trees on December the 9th. More information on these events will follow. Make sure you come out and enjoy the event to meet your neighbors. Again, thank you for joining us this evening, and I sincerely hope you find it informative. It is now my pleasure to introduce our councilperson, Keith Powers. Is Keith here first?
I am here.
Excellent, Keith. I put you right where you want.
I appreciate it. I am at an event and it might be a little noisy, but I had to be here with you guys because I am always so thankful for everything you do for the community. Of course, I wanted to always come and say hello. And I just will start with any issue happening in Murray Hill, call my office. And Pat from my office is on this call right now, and he'll put his email into the email box. So if you have into the chat box rather. So if you have any issues, please reach out to us. We want to be helpful and we want to make sure that we're partnering with you on all issues. The biggest issues that you might expect that we hear from all the time are quality of life issues, including sanitation. And we have been hearing ongoing issues in Murray Hill throughout the last year when it comes to sanitation and trash. And so I want to tell you a couple of good pieces of news. One is we are putting a lot of money into extra pickup service and to a group called ACE that does extra sanitation, graffiti, you name it, services in the Murray Hill area and throughout our district. I think some of you already know them because we've done cleanup events with you guys, but they are going to be out there to not only do the sort of regular service you need, but also to look for hotspots where we're getting complaints and to send them out there. We're also going to be doing extra regular sanitation service that we're going to be funding out of my office as well. We have gotten complaints, particularly around 3rd Avenue from folks in Murray Hill over the summer. We saw conditions that obviously were unacceptable. So we've been sending ACE out there to go and clean those spots. But if there are any issues, email us, talk to Pat in my office as well. We want to make sure those areas that look like they're not getting enough attention get them, and we will act right away. So I know sometimes we get the complaints, but call us and make sure we're staying on top of those issues. On a bit of other good news, we have a little good news for people that live or pet owners in the area and live in the area, which is we are opening a new dog run that's right in on the East River. We have very, very few dog runs and dog space in pet friendly space in the neighborhood, especially things that's really officially sanctioned by the city of New York. We are going to fill that space in by giving people options to people and to try to prevent overcrowding in places where people already are. So we put money into the Parks Department this year to open up a new, it's going to probably be temporary for now, but look for a long-term option on the New Wave Pier, which is a newer park that opened up right down the East River. And we are going to hopefully do a ribbon cutting on it very, very soon in the next month and get it open. It's good news because people can go down to the river. Hopefully it'll be a little warm still and start using that as a dog run. And we heard that as a desire a lot from a lot of people in Murray Hill. We went to the Parks Department. We said, this is something we want to fund. And we were able to work out a commitment from them. We pay for it out of our district budget, but they're going to help run and implement it. And that will give all you folks a little bit, hopefully, an opportunity if you're a dog owner to have something closer to you, or if it's overcrowded, to have an option to solve for that as well. We also have to mention, of course, every year we fund the Murray Hill Neighbor Association as well, which we did this year to continue all the great work that you guys are doing. We gave, in the last year, we gave, I think, over $25,000 in total funds to Murray Hill. We have heard a lot of great work, and I've seen the Green and Clean Committee doing their work. So we're to help get additional street plants out there in the neighborhood. So we're also, I want to get you know that we're putting about 20K into street planting tree planting on the street in Murray Hill in the neighborhood. That way, all those empty tree pits or any of those areas that aren't really looking so great right now, we can put a little money into them to make them a little bit nicer right now. And I will leave it at that because I know you guys got a long agenda. The last thing I'll end on is we get calls all the time about obviously all the other quality of life issues, crime, public safety issues. I think I saw Matt Roberts here from the Community Council. Call us on any issue when you see it. We are pretty effective when there's a question that comes up about an area and how to address it. We're pretty effective. We talk to the commissioners, we talk to the agencies, but we do need to hear from you when you see it or you are feeling like there's an area that needs that extra push or extra attention. We will do our best to address it. I want everybody to feel safe in the neighborhood. It's not acceptable to go into taking your kids to school, getting on the subway, walking in the neighborhood and feeling like you're not safe or the city's not safe. And our job as council members is to work with the agencies to get those issues addressed. So call 311. We always say you should attend the NYPD community council meetings, the Build the Block meetings also, but make sure you loop our office in so we know how to address those issues because they're really, really important. And I don't want you to, feel unsafe. We want to make sure we can address those. And we had some good results in other areas of the city as well. So of the district as well. So with that, I'll leave it at that. But thank you guys always for everything you're doing. Use us in our office. I know Councilor Rivera is, I think, here as well, or her staff is. And we're here to serve you. So please reach out to us anytime we can be helpful.
Thank you, Keith, but now I have to go back and I have to do my introduction because it's very important for you.
Okay, all right, okay.
So I just wanted to say that Keith Powers is a very good friend of the neighborhood. I especially want to thank Keith and his staff, Patrick et al., all of you for all this support year long, including helping us with the discretionary funds. It's so meaningful to us. Thanks to you, Keith, we will be able to keep Murray Hill green. And I also want to thank especially your staff. They're professional, they're helpful, they're caring. And I have to say, that says a lot about the person who's leading them. So thank you so very much. For all you do.
I appreciate that. And I want to say, it's great to have good partners. It's great to have great partners in the district, but also I want to say Pat and my team is as good as it comes and is really responsive and great. And I think, I know he's on here, but I want to say thanks to Pat and also for those folks who are dealing with an issue. I want to know Pat is great at fixing those issues and addressing them alongside us. So thank you for those really nice words.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thanks,
everything.
guys. Nice seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you. And hopefully, is Carlina here?
Hi, I'm sorry, Carlina can't make it, so she sent me tonight. I hope I'm not second best.
Oh, well, let me just introduce you then. It's now my pleasure was to introduce Carlina. This is Katie Loeb, everyone, who was also terrific and hangs in there with us and answers all our questions. A wonderful friend to Murray Hill. I also want to thank Paulina and her staff for all their continuous assistance to our neighborhood. It means a lot to us. So Katie, I know you've got the presentation from Carlina, and I know if she could be here, she would be.
Yeah, absolutely. Carlina sends her best wishes. She's looking very forward to joining everybody at the Fall Festival. So she will be there for that. And yeah, so thank you all for being here and for all of your partnership. I know that we worked so closely on so many important issues that they get very granular and they make such a huge difference in the neighborhood. And a lot of the advocacy from our Green and Clean team has helped get some news boxes and magazine boxes removed from the streets, get rid of old phone booths and make the streets cleaner and better. Also to advocate to have some, you know, sort of abandoned dining structures from closed businesses removed from the streets, and especially taking up privately owned public space locations. So I really have to thank you for your diligent advocacy on that as well. And I also loved hearing about your program to work with people in the shelters to find them employment. I think employment is really important. And that's why we work with ACE programs for the homeless. They're a job training program that brings people who are experiencing homelessness into the neighborhood to clean. And this year, we're excited to say that we're expanding 1 block further west to Lexington Avenue with some additional services from ACE. And another issue that we've been working really closely on is some tree guards around construction sites. So there's a major construction infrastructure project around 2nd and 3rd Avenue. And we've been in contact with the Parks Department. They're going to inspect and see what tree guards can be removed that aren't being, you know, where there's no more construction that's going to come. So I want to thank you all so much for your partnership in that, because it really does make a huge difference to the neighborhood. All the hard work that it takes, it can sometimes not be appreciated, but I want you all to know that we appreciate your partnership so much and all of the work that you do for the neighborhood to keep it green, to keep it clean. And I also want to let you know just some of the things that the council member has been working on over the summer. She passed several pieces of legislation to protect reproductive rights and to help with safe health and safety giving birth, which is, you know, we have the first majority female council. I think you see the effects when our big bill packages are to protect health for women and people giving birth. And we have a lot of exciting legislation that she's also introduced, including a legacy business registry that would help support small businesses that have been, that are cornerstones of our community, that have been in business consecutively for multiple decades and that really come to define what we know in our neighborhoods. And I'm sure there are several in Murray Hill that we can think of. So this is a bill that's being worked on, and we're really excited about it. And we're hoping that we can move that forward. She also has a bill to create an open culture program that would allow outdoor performances from arts and culture groups throughout the city. There was a version of it during the pandemic, and we found that a lot of people love, being brought together in this way where people have, an opportunity to gather and to enjoy the arts in the communities. So that's another bill that we're hoping to be heard. She's working on a bill that would mandate mental health services be provided on site in homeless shelters. That's being led by Councilmember Eric Botcher. And she's very happy to support that. And so, yeah, it's been a busy summer. It'll be a busy fall, and we're really looking forward to working together.
Thank you so much, Katie. We really appreciate it. We always appreciate working with you and you helping us. Thank you. I had a bunch of emails this month. Thank you so much to you and Paulina and your office for all that you do for us. We really appreciate it. We need your help and we'll continue working together to get the things done. So thank you, Katie.
Absolutely. We're here to help. So anytime. And I'm going to drop my contact info in the chat as well.
Thank you, Katie. Okay, now we'll begin our committee reports. The first will be Clean and Green, followed by PAPA, patrons of Park Avenue up for that, Quality of Life, the Police Crime Report, P&D, Business, and the Fall Street Festival. So let's begin. The Chair of Green and Clean, Michael Ann.
Thank you very much, Diane. Really happy to be here, and thanks for the shout out to everyone on the green and cleaning efforts we've made. As the chair of the Green and Clean Committee, I'll give you a quick overview of what happened this year, along with a couple of asks from our community leaders, and finish off with the revival of the Adopt a Tree program. First, I'd like to thank everyone that shows up and cleans up. Anyone who took part in gardening, painting fences, as well as made reports to 311. Those being proactive when it comes to matters about environment in which we live, greening and cleaning. Like to mention that Green and Clean, the Green and Clean Committee sees a lot. We are on the streets every week, every day, observing and taking notes on how we can improve our landscape for the community livelihood and our well-being. Our communications with Carlina and Keith's office are extremely important, and I thank you both for your engagements with us. Patrick, Katie, you guys rock, and thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. You made a difference. I feel like more thanks go to CB6 Chair of Environment and Parks, Kevin O'Keefe, for including me on a couple of your meetings addressing the wooden tree guards and other NYC Parks Department issues. Thank you to Gina Kaufman, our NYC Parks Community Director, for communicating with us as well. And thank you to Ashley Kiyuniki, who is our outreach coordinator with NYC Parks, for hosting Keep Murray Hill Clean events on the NYC Parks calendar. They also helped us with rallying groups for our cleanups, corporate teams, institutions, and one of my personal favorites this year was having a team of Girl Scouts from Denver join us for a day of cleaning our neighborhood and painting the fences with Kevin at St. Barton Park. I encourage many of you to show up and clean up with us on the weekends. You never know who you're going to meet. I tell you, it's just so fun. It really can turn into a fun event. Like to mention that regular cleanups will start again on October 16th with an It's My Park Day, coordinating with NYC Parks to lay mulch in tree beds and plant bulbs for the spring. We did that last year. Will we do it again? There will be a notice going up on for you to sign up. We will be conducting It's My Park Day activities for about a month so that we can fulfill all of the tree beds with mulching and bulbs. This will also include partnering with the new conservancy and gardening in the St. Barton Garden, which leads me to a big thank you again to Kevin O'Keefe for getting that garden open to the public and forming a conservancy. Wow, Keith and Carlina, you were there to celebrate these moments, and it means a lot to the community. I'd like to mention the shed removals are finally coming down. While we love supporting our restaurants, it's time for the sheds to come down. This will greatly help with cleaner streets and sidewalks, our rodent problem, and of course, the traffic noise, the traffic itself, I should say. Thank you to our community leaders for being so proactive on this. I only wish I could say that for the same for the unsightly wooden tree guards, but as you know, Katie, you are now making some movement on it. I really hope that that is true. Seeing is believing. It's going on 4 years now that we've seen these unsightly wooden tree guards that are now smothering and killing our trees instead of protecting them. So 95% of those tree guards are not, there's no construction around those tree guards. Which leads me to our beautiful program, Adopt a Tree. You know, we need more trees in our community, and over the last year, we've documented over 150 empty tree beds from 30th to 40th and Madison to First, many with stumps still not removed. This grant will be, this discretionary fund will be needed, and we need participation from the community as well. With a 3 to 4 year wait, with NYC Parks Department and the non-existing Million Trees program for our community, we have revived the Adopt a Tree program. And our goal is to plant at least 10 trees this fall. And since we launched the program just a few weeks ago, we have received about $5,800 with more checks, I hope, coming in. Donations range from $50 to $2,000. With the benefits, what are the benefits of joining the Adopt a Tree program? Donations to the program will expedite new tree installations and empty tree beds throughout our community this fall. It means walking around your community and seeing more habitat for birds. It means less noise and a cleaner environment. What does it mean to adopt a tree? Your donation will go towards installing, caring, and maintenance of new trees. And it means you will join us in taking care of the trees, clean trees, and watering. How many can we plant? Well, that is up to you. We need your participation. If you are a building board, if you are on a building board, a tenant or landlord, please share the Adopt a Tree program with your building as well as with your friends. You do not have to live in Murray Hill to adopt a tree in our community. Email me for a printable flyer and watch for our follow-up e-blast tomorrow. John has also posted the links in the chat for more details and a direct link to donate to the program. Greening is an investment in the well-being of the community. Greening is for everyone, you, your family, our beautiful historic community, the world, our planet. So thank you all for joining us tonight. And I'll hand it over now to Papa and the chair, the co-chair, John Harari, to explain some fun things that he has.
Hey, thank you so much, Michael Ann. Hey, John Harari, co-chair of Patrons of Park Avenue. So this year, I think it's one of the most exciting years we've ever had within our organization. So as you know, Patrons of Park Avenue was started about 30 or 40 years ago. And you can see here on our dedicated website, even though we're a division of the Murray Hill Neighborhood Association, we have our own website, patronsofparkavenue.org. And you can just see here what Park Avenue and Murray Hill look like before Patrons of Park Avenue was founded. We have to really give credit to Irma Worrell Fisher, who started the organization. And today you can see all the maintenance, all the beauty that Park Avenue is today. We also want to thank all the donor buildings. So every year we raise money from all the buildings along Park Avenue because we don't necessarily get all the funds from the city to maintain it at the level it is at now. This year, as you guys have all seen, we launched our first ever art installation on Park Avenue, Murray Hill. Art has always been installed on Park Avenue north of us, but never below 42nd Street within our neighborhood. So within our inaugural art installation, we're featuring Idris B, his gigantic animal, which he calls polymals or polysaurs. Some are animals and some are dinosaurs. You can see them here along Park Avenue. Our goal is to have a different artist featured each year. And with the launch of this art installation, we've gotten a lot of interest from many other artists from around the world. This installation costs our association nothing. So I don't want anyone to think that we're spending dollars or money or resources making this happen. We're specifically identifying artists who have the financial means to install, pay for the insurance, and deal with all the maintenance of these these statues. And also with Idris, we're also asking that when he sells any of his art, that he gives a 10% commission to patrons of Park Avenue as a way to continue to raise money for our association. So this is really a win-win. We get to elevate the neighborhood, we get free art, and we get sales. On top of that, we also get press. Right? These animals, these sculptures are all over social media, they're all over the press, and they're also just a great organic way for the Murray Hill neighborhood to be elevated. So that's really the first major upgrade that we've made in the past year to our neighborhood, specifically Park Avenue. And the second is our annual holiday lighting. So you can see here, these are images from last year. So each year we light the holiday trees, the Hanukkah menorah. We celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Hanukkah, we celebrate all the festivities of the holiday season in Murray Hill. So this year, with the help of Heather Dolan, we are launching our holiday party on Friday, December 9th. And this year, we've been working on it for many years. Try to have a dedicated space. That way we don't necessarily have to negotiate with different venues, but really have one that sponsors it. So this year, Church of Our Savior has sponsored and donated the basement event space of the church for us to host the event after the lighting. So I do want to thank the Church of Our Savior and Heather Dolan for making that happen. That will take place on Friday, December 9th. And these are images from the lighting from last year. So this year will be a little bit different than last year because we're going to be illuminating the animals. So we're going to do that as well. That's it from my end. I do want to thank Irma Fisher, Victoria Spagnola, John Chadwick for their leadership throughout the years. And I'm going to turn it over to Matt Roberts.
All right, thanks, John. Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Sorry, I'm between events here, but I did want to give you a quick update on quality of life. Obviously, Keith Powers, Carlina Rivera, on top of most of it. I'm not going to repeat everything that Keith and Katie spoke about, but there is a lot of work being done in regards to the construction, a lot of the dining shed issues, the rodent problems, sanitation issues, you name it. But the one other thing I can mention is the construction that we've been dealing with on 2nd Avenue primarily. So one more year to go. That timeline, of course, got pushed out during the pandemic. Con Edison and the city contractors did not do a very good job of coordinating their schedules there. So one more year to go, hopefully. If you guys have any issues, feel free to reach out to us. I'm going to stop there and actually hand it over to 17th Precinct. I know a lot of the issues you guys are concerned about are crime and safety. People behaving erratically, traffic, cars racing up the avenues and on the streets. So to touch on all of that, we have our commanding officer from the 17th Precinct, Deputy Inspector Aaron Edwards and company. Take it away, Aaron.
Hey, how you doing? Good evening, everybody. I'm Deputy Inspector Aaron Edwards from the 17th Precinct. I have some of my team with me here. I have Matt Vogel. He's my traffic guy. I know a lot of the quality of life issues concerning traffic and e-bikes and bicycles going the wrong way. And it's kind of like what the police is doing about it. And so this is an ongoing struggle. I absolutely sympathize with all of you. I say it at every community council meeting. It's like swimming against the tide. We write summonses, we confiscate bikes. Over the last 2 weeks, we've taken about 18 bikes. So as busy as we were during the General Assembly, we were still out taking bikes because we know that is something that has become a neighborhood nuisance, not just in Murray Hill, but throughout the city. As the price of electric bikes and mopeds have gone down in price, it's become a cheap alternative for transportation and food delivery. And so it is a race to deliver food. It is a race to get around town, and people are disobeying the traffic rules and regulations left and right. And so I know that it is a constant struggle. Matt and his team, they have a one dedicated officer who really just goes after the e-bikes. But we do weekly operations with members of our precinct to confiscate bikes, to summons bikes. We also do bike outreach. It's not just about taking bikes, but we try and do bike outreach and let people know the rules of the road. These electric vehicles are kind of a new form of transportation, and I don't think people really fully appreciate that you have to go with the flow of traffic. You have to obey the rules like everyone else. And so some of that is education and outreach. Some of the other issues that we deal with commonly, in addition to the bikes, is the homeless. The street homeless, sometimes the street emotionally disturbed persons or persons in mental crisis. I know that's a big problem. It's a scary issue. I also have my neighborhood coordination officers here. These guys are new. They took over for Officer Noah and Officer Rodriguez. And so I want to introduce Officer Rivera and Officer P. I will put their contacts in the chat. The reason why I want you to have their contacts is that these issues with the homeless, they have to be dealt with on an individual basis. And so if you have someone that is setting up an encampment, if you have someone that is frequenting a space, right? They always in front of this one store, they're always acting erratic in front of this one bank. I want you to reach out to Officer P. or Rivera. All right, this way we can start our process. As we know, it's not illegal to be homeless, right? But we have methods of trying to get the homeless services, trying to get the homeless to move along, or if they are in medical crisis, a psychological crisis, we can remove them right away. All right. We also want to work with building owners to try and figure out how we can make those spaces less appealing to the homeless. Sometimes they're scaffolding up. Is the light working underneath the scaffold, right? We want to make it nice and bright. Is there a custodian that can clean that space nightly, right? You can wash your property down nightly. And so that way they're not setting up encampments and staying there for a long period of time. We can have them move while they wash down the properties and stuff. And so we want to work with, each building, with each situation, but that's more of a case-by-case basis. And for that, establish that relationship with Officer P. and Rivera. They're going to be hosting the Build a Block meeting
on October 21st at 6 p.m. at St. Barton Church.
I will put that in the chat. So October 21st at 6 p.m., St. Barton's Church, they will be hosting the Build a Block. Spread the word, come out, meet our officers, get their contact information. When we have these kind of longer term quality of life issues, again, the same chronic homeless person, it's going to take some time, but we will focus in on that. And these are our officers that are going to do it. All right. I know we have a lot of other things to cover, so I won't bore you with a lot of this stuff. I will say this overall for Murray Hill is in Sector Adam. Our precinct is broken up into 3 sectors: Adam, Boy, and Charlie. Murray Hill is in Sector Adam. For the last month or two, the crime in Sector Adam has gone down a lot compared to the other commands. And a lot of that has been attributed to lower burglaries and some lower grand larcenies. What's keeping me up at night right now are stolen motorcycles. We're getting a lot of motorcycles stolen. These motorcycles are usually left, they're parked overnight, person goes into the building, they come out, the motorcycle is gone. And so that's been kind of my big headache right now, the motorcycles. We're working with our public safety cops. They're working the night shift to try and catch these guys that's taking the bikes. It's not just here, it's kind of a bigger problem, but we're going to do what we can to try and get the bike situation resolved. It's not necessarily Murray Hill, it's more to the city, but still we're all one precinct. I'm going to turn it back over to Matt. Listen, it was great chatting. Please, I'm going to put the information in the chat for Officer P, Officer Rivera, and for the Builder Block. Please come out. You can speak with them one-on-one. You have specific issues, please talk to them one-on-one, and we'll start working on them on a case-by-case basis.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate the update there. And of course, yeah, as the inspector mentioned, please do attend that Build the Block meeting. Those happen every 3 months, every quarter. So it's specific to Murray Hill. So that's as granular as it gets. So hope you'll take part in that. I usually join those meetings as well. For those who don't know, I also host monthly meetings with Deputy Inspector Edwards for the Community Council with the 17th Precinct. So on the last Tuesday of the month, come on out and join us at 6:30 in the Sutton Place Synagogue. It's a little bit north of Murray Hill on 51st Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues. Another great way to connect on crime and safety issues. So lots more to come. So I'll hand it over to Diane or the next committee to keep the meeting going. Thanks, everybody.
First, I just want to say, I want to thank Precinct 17 so much for joining us tonight and for, most importantly, continuing to protect us. So thank you so very much. Welcome the new people. We'll be there. Any help you need, we're here for you too. Thank you. And next will be Susan from Preservation and Design. Susan?
Hi, everybody. I am Susan Demmett, co-chair with Elaine Silber of the Preservation and Design Committee. We are experiencing some changes in our neighborhood. The Collectors Club has relocated and we welcome a new occupant to 22 East 35th Street, the permanent mission of the Republic of Serbia. Redesigned by McKim, Mead, and White in 1902, this building, originally the Thomas Clark House, was designated an individual landmark by the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission in 1979. Further east on 35th Street, the community church and adjacent brownstones have finally been sold to the developer Bruce Eichner of the Continuum Company. I had a brief discussion with him recently, and he is familiar with our community. They are starting the process now of picking an architect. He will have a better sense of schedule in 5 to 8 months. They are aware of the zoning regulations on the block and won't go higher than 170 feet. He said this is a nice neighborhood and he will build a nice building in a neighborhood he has a lot of affection for. A project that we've been working on in P&D is involved with seeking ways for higher visibility for our residents in our community, as well as the general public, of our designations of the Murray Hill Historic District and the National Register of Historic Places. This will be an important step for our residential enclave. Across town, the Penn Station project, one of the largest real estate deals in New York history, is moving ahead. Initiated by Governor Cuomo and supported by Governor Hochul, the plan aims to completely renovate Penn Station and the surrounding area. To help fund this renovation, 10 super tall towers, mostly to be used as office space, have been planned around Penn Station. Along the public space, approximately 1,800 residential units with some affordable housing will be added. But in the process, the demolition of numerous businesses and approximately 16 well-known buildings, including a 150-year-old Roman Catholic church, will take place. The improvements to Penn Station are estimated to be finished in the year 2032, with the developments around it fully completed by the year 2044. Finally, come to our table at the festival on October 15th. We will have 3 walking tours, lots of historic information about our neighborhood, as well as historic merchandise. And next we'll hear from Lily.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's so good to see everyone here. My name is Lily Seidman Davis, and I chair the business committee as well as the discount program. So thank you for the opportunity to walk you through some of the things that we do and we have done in the past. Our goal has always been to support local businesses by way of networking events, activities for the business community. And in particular, we always concentrate on small businesses, which make up the bulk of Murray Hill businesses overall. And the Murray Hill Neighborhood Association helps give this audience a voice and a community to lean on. As we know, everything has been significantly a challenge in the last number of years, and each year brings different obstacles. So it's been interesting to learn from the local businesses about what their needs are at this present time and how we could maybe help them. So I've been trying to figure out, besides networking events, which are starting to obviously come back in full force, but there's definitely been a message that's been coming out from the businesses about how it just doesn't feel alive in Murray Hill. So why? Like, what is that? What is going on? So let's go on this journey together. Let's figure out what can we do here to go ahead and help, like revitalize and regenerate the entire community. How can we help? As a business, being on the business committee, I want to help the businesses. You as active people, you're on this call, everybody cares about the community and cares about the neighborhood. So let's all put on our civic responsibility hats and let's figure out a way to go ahead and re-engage the community. Stay local. I know it might be appealing to go to another neighborhood. There's lots of great things to see in New York City, but stay local, support the local stores. Think about if you want to do some home renovation and you want to reframe your photos and pictures, go to the local store that does framing. Go to the local store that sells your merchandise. Maybe it's a chemist, a wellness chemist. We have some of the best places around here.
Meeting.
Hello? Is someone taking over my spotlight? Okay. And I just really want to encourage everyone to get out there and just really enjoy the neighborhood, learn about what's going on. There's a lot of changes. Many stores have closed, many restaurants have closed, and new ones are popping up. So get out there and explore and share with the people in the businesses about what's going on in the neighborhood. And here comes the plug. Tell them about the Murray Hill Neighborhood Association. Tell them that we can help. Tell them that we want to bring their stories to light on our website. We have over 100,000 visitors a year, and it continues to grow every single year. And we can help market their stuff. We're here to help build partnerships, but we need your help from the community perspective, as well as the individual businesses, to help get the message out and accelerate involvement. Now, here's the last thing I wanted to mention where everyone here could go ahead and play a role. So with the upcoming street festival, here's a great idea. Go on the website and print the fall festival flyer that talks about how October 15th, there's going to be a festival on between 34th and 40th on the west side of the street. Ashley's going to talk about that shortly. Print it, go to a storefront and ask them to post it. And so that people in the community can hear that, one, it's going on, two, they have something to get excited about in the neighborhood, and three, perhaps they're going to say, hey, how can I get involved? I'm a business, can I offer a silent auction item? And knowing that those monies will go back to the Murray Hill Neighborhood Association for us to use appropriately. So I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone October 15th. Any questions, you can reach out to the email address info@murrayhillnyc.org. And on that, I'll pass it over to Ashley.
Thanks so much, Lily. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Petrolak. I'm the chair of this year's MHNA Fall Festival. The festival, as multiple trustees have explained, is Saturday, October 15th. It starts at 10 a.m. and runs until 6 p.m. in the evening. It's going to be held on the west side of Park Avenue, again, between 34th Street and 40th Street. A couple of people this year have asked me, how old is the Murray Hill Festival? It was started in 1973. So this year we're at year 49. So next year is going to be the big 50th anniversary, but you know, lose 2 years to COVID. So I don't know what that really puts us at, but almost 50 years old. And of course, it started as a relatively small neighborhood event on 35th Street as a block party before kind of gaining momentum and becoming much more of a fixture in the community along Park Avenue. The festival is unique in that we dedicate an entire block between 35th Street and 36th Street to specifically neighborhood association tables. And these tables are really intended to bring our community together, to help you network with your neighbors, to understand all of the benefits that the neighborhood association brings to the neighborhood, and help you get involved more in the neighborhood as well. As Susan mentioned, we have our preservation and design table, which will be staffed by volunteers who can help explain a lot of the changes going on in the neighborhood with regards to zoning and new construction projects. Michael Ann will have a green and clean table, which will explain how you can get involved in the Adopt a Tree program and other things. We'll have a membership table so you can understand how to join the association if you're not yet a member, or even promote it to your friends, to your neighbors, folks in your building. And we have a number of tables that also are primarily to raise money for the association. So all proceeds from the street festival go to supporting the work of the association throughout the rest of the year. So if you've been to the festival before, you'll remember that we have a very popular silent auction table, which Lily mentioned, featuring donations that you can bid on from a lot of our different local businesses. We'll have a book sale, which this year is going to feature a specific kids corner. And so our new trustee, Jessica, is helping to coordinate our book sale with, I think we're calling it a book nook for the kids. If you have items, books to donate to the book sale, please let us know. We'll put the email address in the chat, and we're going to be having 2 drop-off days next week and the following week leading up to the festival, where you can donate your used or unread books. Also, we'll have a flea market table again, which I think we started in 2018, proved very popular. So if you're doing any fall cleaning and you have any household items in good condition to donate to the flea market table, you can drop those off as well. If you're not signed up for our newsletter, you can also do that just by emailing us, and we'll make sure that we get you signed up for the newsletter, and you'll get information about those drop-off days as well. As I said, all the proceeds from the event will benefit the work the association does throughout the year. I did want to recognize some of the businesses who are participating as vendors in the festival, as well as donors to the silent auction. Just to kind of get you interested, you can go on our website, murrayhillnyc.org, and check out some of the prizes that you could bid on at the silent auction. So we have Allure Hair Salon, we have Biscuits and Bath, which is a doggy daycare center, the Cellulite Endermology Center, Hill and Bay, fantastic restaurant on 2nd Avenue, Ibera Star Hotel, Calustians, which I don't know if anyone's been to, is a spice store on Lexington, which has been around for, decades and decades. It's just fantastic. They're donating a gift certificate. We have Calvin and Shorter Veterinarians, who personally, I'm obliged to say that they're probably the best veterinarians in the neighborhood because I use them for all my cats. Making You Smile Cosmetic Dental Studio. We have Murray Hill Pediatric Dentistry, which also does adult dentistry as well on 36th Street. The New York Dog Nanny, Pasteur Pharmacy, which has been in the neighborhood again for decades. Rosini's on 38th Street, wonderful Italian food. A coaching professional, Shabani Gabir, who's one of our past trustees, has donated coaching sessions. The Sinesta Shelburne on Lexington has donated, I think, a couple nights stay in the hotel, and then yoga classes at the Yoga Commons studio. So if you're interested in bidding on any of the items, please stop by the silent auction table. Lily will be staffing it during the festival, and there will be hopefully more donations to come as they come in. If you are interested in volunteering, I know a couple of trustees had kind of made calls for getting more involved in your community. If you're interested in selling books, if you're interested in help promoting membership, please email me. I'll put the email address in the chat. Oh, Lily said Via Barulia, also one of our favorite supporters, favorite restaurants in the neighborhood, has donated for the auction too. Please get in touch with me if you're interested in volunteering. Specifically, we are looking for folks, if you're able to help us set up the festival. So if you're able-bodied and you would like to help us move some boxes and drive the vans around town, that would be fantastic. But we're also looking for folks during the day to help sell some of the goods and just work with members of the public. Also, we will have an entertainment area, which will be between 34th and 35th Streets. If you know of any acts, singers, dancers, musicians who are interested in performing, please have them reach out to me and we'll get them some free space, and we're happy to help promote their business and their talents as well. So yeah, I hope everybody can come out. It should be a wonderful fall day. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I'll put the email address in the chat.
Thank you, Ashley. First, I'd like to thank all the committee chairs and co-chairs for all their hard work and commitment to the neighborhood. Truthfully, you're all priceless. Again, thank you for joining us this evening, and I just have a few things in closing. First, to our Jewish friends, Lashana Tova, here's to a happy and healthy new year. Important, we're coming up upon that time. Remember to vote, vote, vote. Let your voice be heard. Every election is important. If you are a member, please make sure to renew your membership. Also, have a friend join too. The more voices we have, the more impact we can make. Come out for the Murray Hill events, October 15th, the Fall Street Festival. Enjoy the street festival, you're gonna have fun. And I think the one thing we're also gonna have, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley, is also hopefully the fire department will be there for the families. So if you have children, they'll be able to go on the fire truck. And it's just a great event for children. Yeah. And good. And then of course, December 9th, you can see the trees being lit on Park Avenue, our annual event. Lastly, just as Ashley said, if you can volunteer, please do so. I promise it will make a difference to your community and to you. Help us continue to make Murray Hill a highly desirable place to live, work, and visit. Thank you all so much. It's so appreciated that you care about your neighborhood and that you came out tonight. We're working really hard. Join us in those efforts. Without you, we can't do it. There's a lot of things going on. We do need help. My appeal to please join us when you can. Half hour a month, we'll take it. Whatever you can do, we really would appreciate. So hopefully see everyone on October 15th. And I will now say good night. Thank you for being here and see you very soon. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.